Have you ever felt like there's more to life than the daily grind? Like there's a deeper purpose waiting to be uncovered, just beneath the surface? It's that subtle, yet persistent feeling, a quiet whisper from the universe, urging you to pause, reflect, and explore. That feeling isn't random. It's the beginning of your spiritual awakening. It's the moment where your journey inward begins, and trust me, it's nothing short of life-changing. Welcome to Inner Peace Journey. Today, we're diving into the 5 transformative stages of spiritual awakening. But this isn't just another list or lecture. This is your guide to navigating the twists and turns of self-discovery, helping you find clarity, purpose, and inner peace along the way. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand where you are on this path, but feel empowered to take the next step. Let's get started. The first stage of spiritual awakening is what I like to call the fog of the ego. During this phase, life feels like it's happening to us rather than being shaped by us. We're trapped in a cycle of reaction where our thoughts and emotions dominate, convincing us that they define who we are. Think of someone stuck in traffic, honking and cursing at every delay. That frustration consumes them because they're fully immersed in the emotion, unable to step back and observe it for what it is, a temporary reaction. This stage isn't unique to the average person. Even some of the most successful people in history have been caught in this fog. Take Steve Jobs, for instance. Early in his career, Jobs was known for his explosive temper and obsessive need for control. It wasn't until he was ousted from Apple that he began to reflect on the patterns driving his behavior. That setback, a monumental loss, forced him to confront his ego and reevaluate his approach to life and leadership. When he returned to Apple, he was a transformed leader, capable of creating with both vision and humility. On a more personal level, I had a neighbor named Sarah who epitomized this stage for years. She constantly complained about how unfair life was, saying things like, "Why does everything bad happen to me?" For Sarah, life felt like an endless series of frustrations and disappointments. But when she unexpectedly lost her job, something shifted. The shock of that event gave her the space to pause and reflect. She realized she had been caught in a loop of negativity and blame, reacting to life instead of shaping it. That loss became the wake-up call she needed to begin exploring her inner world. Even Oprah Winfrey has spoken about living in this fog during her early years. Before becoming the media powerhouse we know today, Oprah struggled with her sense of self-worth. She shared how she often felt defined by external validation, letting her emotions and the opinions of others control her decisions. Her turning point came when she decided to stop living reactively and start aligning with her inner truth. That decision not only changed her career, but also her entire perspective on life. The takeaway from this stage is clear. We need to wake up to the unconscious patterns running our lives. When we start noticing these patterns, we begin to ask deeper questions. Why am I stuck in this loop? Or is there more to life than this? It's in these moments of questioning that the journey toward awakening truly begins. The fog may be thick, but every realization clears a little more of the path ahead. The next stage in spiritual awakening is what many call ego death, and it's as challenging as it is transformative. This is the point where the identity we've meticulously constructed, our roles, labels, and the stories we tell ourselves, begins to unravel. It's like standing in front of a mirror and realizing the reflection staring back at you is unfamiliar. For most of us, that's a terrifying thought. But here's the paradox. This unraveling is also what sets us free. Ego death isn't something reserved for spiritual gurus or monks meditating on mountaintops. It's a universal experience, one that often comes during moments of profound change. Take J.K. Rowling, for instance. Before the global success of Harry Potter, Rowling was a struggling single mother living on welfare. She's spoken openly about how hitting rock bottom shattered her old identity and forced her to rebuild from the ground up. In her own words, failure meant stripping away of the inessential. That process of letting go allowed her to rediscover her creative voice and rebuild her life on her own terms. Closer to home, I once had a conversation with a former coworker named Lisa. For years, Lisa's entire identity revolved around her career. She was the quintessential overachiever, the one who stayed late at the office and thrived on recognition. But when her company downsized and she was let go, Lisa was devastated. Without her job, she didn't know who she was. It took months of introspection, therapy, and support from loved ones for Lisa to realize that her job title wasn't her essence. She began exploring passions she'd sidelined for years, like painting and gardening, and slowly rebuilt a life that felt authentic. Even Jim Carrey, known for his comedic genius, has shared insights into his own ego death. At the height of his fame, Carrey realized that the persona he'd created, the funny guy loved by millions, wasn't who he truly was. He's famously said, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer." This epiphany led him to explore deeper spiritual truths, shedding the need for validation and focusing instead on living authentically. One story that particularly resonates comes from a viewer who shared her journey through divorce. She admitted that for years her sense of self was tied to being a wife. When that role was taken away, she felt hollow and directionless. But with time, she shifted her perspective. Instead of asking, "Who am I without this?" she began asking, "What can I become?" That simple reframe opened doors she never knew existed, leading her to new opportunities and a renewed sense of purpose. The lesson here is clear. Ego death isn't an end, it's a beginning. It's about releasing what no longer serves us and stepping into the unknown. Yes, it's uncomfortable to let go of the identities we cling to, but doing so creates space for something far greater, the opportunity to uncover our truest selves. The search phase is where curiosity begins to guide us, often pulling us in directions we never anticipated. It's the point in our journey where we start asking life's most profound questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose? These questions may seem daunting at first, but they mark the beginning of a beautiful exploration. For some, this stage might involve signing up for a meditation retreat in the mountains, while for others, it could mean scrolling through late-night YouTube videos about the universe or diving into a stack of philosophy books. One famous example of this phase is Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, even as she achieved success as a talk show host, Oprah felt a sense of incompleteness. She began seeking answers through spiritual practices and wisdom from thought leaders like Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra. Her search for understanding not only deepened her connection to herself, but also transformed her career as she began focusing on more meaningful and soul-enriching content. Oprah's journey is a testament to how the search can redefine our lives in ways we never imagined. I once had a friend, Ravi, a software engineer, who seemed to have it all. A high-paying job, a nice apartment, and a steady routine. But he couldn't shake this nagging restlessness, this feeling that something was missing. One day, Ravi stumbled upon a book on mindfulness while browsing in a bookstore. That single moment changed everything. He started exploring meditation, yoga, and ancient philosophies. When I asked him what he was hoping to find, he said, "The more I searched, the less I felt I needed answers. I realized the journey itself was the answer." That shift in perspective gave him a newfound sense of peace and purpose. Another great example comes from Albert Einstein. While he's widely known for his contributions to science, Einstein was also a seeker in the spiritual sense. He's often quoted as saying, "The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing." His endless quest for understanding, not just about physics, but about life and the universe, was a cornerstone of his genius. For Einstein, the act of searching was as sacred as the discoveries themselves. During this phase, many people also turned to mentors, books, or spiritual communities for guidance. Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, famously embarked on a year-long journey across Italy, India, and Indonesia to rediscover herself. Her search for meaning led her to explore pleasure, devotion, and balance, transforming her life and inspiring millions of readers to embrace their own quests. The takeaway from this stage is profound. The act of seeking is sacred. It's not about finding all the answers, but about expanding our awareness and growing through the process. Whether you're meditating under a banyan tree or reading Rumi at a coffee shop, each step brings you closer to your true self. The path may twist and turn, but every moment of seeking is a step closer to inner peace and purpose. The emergence of the authentic self is one of the most liberating yet challenging phases of spiritual awakening. It's the point where the layers of societal expectations, roles, and pretenses we've carried for years start to peel away. What remains is your true self, unfiltered and unapologetic. It's not about rebelling against the world. It's about aligning with your own essence, which often means making difficult choices, leaving unfulfilling jobs, ending draining relationships, or pursuing passions you've buried for years. I remember reading about Michelle Obama's journey to authenticity in her memoir, Becoming. She describes how she followed a traditional path of success, law school, a prestigious job, and ticking all the boxes society laid out for her. But deep down, she felt disconnected from her true self. It wasn't until she made the bold decision to leave her corporate law career to focus on community work that she began to feel truly aligned with her purpose. That choice wasn't easy, but it paved the way for her to become one of the most influential and authentic voices of our time. On a more personal note, I'll never forget Lily, a nurse I met during a workshop on creative self-expression. For years, Lily had dreamed of being an artist, but felt trapped in the stability and expectations of her nursing career. When the pandemic hit, the chaos and uncertainty gave her a new perspective on life. She picked up her brushes again and began painting. What started as a hobby quickly became a passion. Today, Lily splits her time between working part-time as a nurse and selling her artwork. She told me, "I finally feel like I'm living my truth." Her story is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to embrace who you really are. Another inspiring figure who exemplifies this phase is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Before he became a Hollywood superstar, Johnson was a professional wrestler, a role he played with dedication, but one that didn't completely align with his authentic self. He's spoken about how transitioning to acting allowed him to express more of who he truly is. His ability to embrace his unique blend of humor, charisma, and authenticity has not only endeared him to millions, but also made him one of the most successful entertainers in the world. This stage is about letting go of what no longer serves you and creating space for what truly resonates with your soul. It's not always a smooth process. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and even grief as you shed old identities. But as you move through it, you'll find a profound sense of freedom and alignment. It's about living a life that feels like yours, not one dictated by external expectations or societal norms. The takeaway here is simple yet profound. Authenticity is freedom. When you stop trying to be what others expect and start embracing who you are, life takes on a new vibrancy. This phase isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about stepping into the light of your true self and letting that light guide the way forward. Finally, we arrive at living in alignment, a state where mind, body, and spirit come together in harmony. This is the phase where you feel a profound connection to yourself, others, and the world around you. Life shifts from a constant pursuit of external achievements to a deep appreciation of simply being. It's less about doing and more about existing in a state of authenticity and flow. One inspiring example of this is Jay Shetty, a former monk turned motivational speaker and author. Jay has often spoken about how his time living in a monastery taught him the importance of alignment. While he now leads a busy and high-profile life, he has maintained practices like meditation and mindfulness to stay grounded. He shared how aligning his daily actions with his values, service, compassion, and love, has allowed him to find joy and purpose, no matter how chaotic life gets. I've also seen this transformation in a family friend named Tom. Tom was once a corporate executive working grueling hours, chasing promotions, and accumulating material success. But after years of burnout, he had an epiphany. He wasn't truly happy. He decided to leave his high-powered job and follow a long-held dream of becoming an organic farmer. These days, Tom spends his mornings tending to his crops and his evenings with his family. He told me recently, "I've never been wealthier, not in money, but in meaning." His story illustrates how living in alignment can lead to a more fulfilling and peaceful life. Even celebrities like Keanu Reeves embody this principle. Despite his fame, Reeves is known for his humility, generosity, and quiet way of living. He has faced significant personal challenges, including the loss of loved ones, but has remained grounded and authentic. His approach to life, balancing his career with acts of kindness and a deep appreciation for the simple joys, shows that alignment isn't about perfection. It's about finding harmony in the midst of life's imperfections. In my own life, I've found that living in alignment doesn't mean everything is always smooth or easy. It's about consciously choosing actions and attitudes that resonate with your core values. For me, that means prioritizing meaningful relationships, practicing gratitude daily, and taking time for activities that nurture my soul, like writing and spending time in nature. These practices don't eliminate challenges, but they help me face them with a sense of peace and resilience. The key takeaway here is that living in alignment isn't about striving for some ideal version of life. It's about embracing your imperfections with compassion and gratitude, while creating a life that feels true to who you are. It's about finding joy in the small moments and trusting that when you align with your inner self, everything else falls into place. Whether you're cultivating a garden, connecting with loved ones, or simply taking a mindful breath, living in alignment reminds us that peace and purpose are always within reach. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect. Where are you on your spiritual journey? Remember, this isn't a race. It's a deeply personal exploration, and every stage has its own unique lessons to teach. Whether you're just beginning to question the patterns of your life or living fully in alignment, know that each step is meaningful and necessary. Spiritual awakening isn't about perfection. It's about progress and embracing the beauty of transformation. As you move forward, keep asking yourself, what can I learn today? How can I grow? And most importantly, how can I live more authentically? If today's insights resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Share your thoughts, your challenges, and even your breakthroughs. We're here to grow together. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Inner Peace Journey so you won't miss the next step in your path towards self-discovery. Our upcoming videos dive even deeper into finding purpose, building resilience, and cultivating peace in your daily life. Until next time, may your journey be filled with light, growth, and the profound joy of being fully present. Let's walk this path together.